Hi, you guys. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, October 10th, 2025. It's been almost exactly a month, 1 month and 1 day since I've done my last update. And I know I said I was going to do like weekly or bi-weekly, but to be honest with you, for September, my girls went back to school and it was just a pretty crazy time, with sports starting and the school pickup. And we adopted kittens. So, by the way, if you hear random bells or noises, it's just my kittens having a field day in my living room right over there. So that's a story for another time. But like I said, I just wanted to give you an update. I figured I'd wait a month, other than being busy. I just feel like I wanted to have enough content for you guys and to have something to actually talk about. So experimenting with the 1 month or so updates, but we'll see how it goes. I guess I'm just still excited and proud that I'm still here to make another video because, as I mentioned before, I'm not the best at sticking with habits. And this video and this whole channel, honestly, is as much as I hope that people can get inspiration and motivation out of it. And I'm trying to like help others on their own journey towards better health and happiness. It's always been designed to keep me in track and online, or in line rather. So here we are, better late than never. So basically, like, oh my God, you guys got to see this. Do you see these little kittens? Do you see them over there? That's Teddy and CT. They both started off as foster kittens. I started fostering cats this April, so that has just been a wild ride. And I was really only going to keep the beige Teddy, but we ended up keeping the black one as well because they just bonded so well. They're like little brothers. Anyways, also please bear with me. This is going to be my first attempt at using CapCut to edit this video so that I can add in pictures of like my different charts and things that I use. So just bear with me. I am one of the most technologically challenged people that you probably know. I'm super old school. I do everything with pen and paper. And my daughter, she just turned 10 yesterday. I have to ask her for help with video editing, and she's the one that told me to use CapCut. So I'm super behind the times, but just bear with me. Ideally, I'm going to have like me talking and then show a picture of what it is that I'm talking about, like do the overlay thing. So just bear with me. So anyways, I'm 3 months into maintenance. I consider July 1st my first day of maintenance. So it's been a little over 3 months, and honestly, I'm still experimenting and learning, and just trying to be flexible with the maintenance, because this is the longest by far that I have maintained a weight, in the healthy range. I just, I'm 37, and for like literally 3 decades, my weight has like yo-yoed. It's like I was either going up or I was going down. So maintenance is super brand new territory for me. And I know a lot of people struggle. So I'm trying to do the best that I can to like experiment. And everyone says like, you need to be more flexible and you can have longer windows and, treat yourself more often. And the last thing I want to do is get back into my old habits that landed me at 220 pounds. So I'm trying to be flexible, but still vigilant. And don't mind my notes. I wrote some notes down this time so I could like stay on track. I tend to ramble, obviously. So basically, I've tried a few different things since July. Last month in September, when my dad was up here, I did 1 meal a day, with a shorter window, like 1 to 4 hour window, like a 21 and 3 or 23 and 1 or 20 and 4, that sort of thing. And I was able to maintain my weight, but it was weird because it was like almost like I didn't feel great eating every day. Like, I really enjoy my down days. So then I sort of shifted my goal to throwing in randomly 1 to 2 down days a week. That would ideally be dependent on the week and what we had going on and what the kids' schedules were. So I did that for a while, and I sort of found that that was more difficult because I'm such a planner. So waking up in the morning, not knowing if it was going to be a down day or a window day, that kind of threw me for a loop. So I transitioned more, and this is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to have 2 set down days a week. I'm doing a down day on a Monday, so that means Tuesday is the up day, and then also on Thursdays, so that Fridays can be an update. And Fridays, they say that, weekends and Fridays aren't a holiday every week. They're not a reason to celebrate, and it's not a special occasion, but it still kind of feels that way. Like, I feel like my kids are still young. They're in 5th and 7th grade, and when we get to the end of the school week and it's a Friday, it's like I'm all about celebrating. So I figured if I do a down day on Thursday, then we can enjoy our Fridays together. And, like tonight, we're going to go out for Mexican and celebrate Friday. So with that said, and hopefully hold on a second. I wanted to show you, and hopefully this is where the overlay, so maybe you won't see my face right now and you can see a picture of my month of September. What you're looking at now, and I'll just show you just in case it doesn't work, but I'm hopefully doing an overlay. This is a project, I've been doing this for a long time, but I like to write down my daily weight and then take the weekly average. So the weekly average is what I compare week to week instead of getting hung up on the daily fluctuations. And then I also record my eating window and whether it was a down day or if I had a 500 calorie meal with that. I like to analyze the trends so I can pay attention to what I've been doing, because that will explain, if I get hung up or if the scale starts moving. So for September, I had a goal to maintain my weight in a range of 108 to 115. I completed that for September. I wanted to keep my windows no longer than an 18-6, so a 6-hour eating window. I did that. And I also was able to do 1 to 2 down days a week every week in September. And so far for the month of October, like I said, today's Friday the 10th, I've been maintaining those goals as well. So I'm still on track. And my weight it's been kind of up and down. And here's a picture of the graph and I use the app Average Scale. That's where this graph is from. So you can see it's gone up and down over the last month. However, I've been able to maintain a weight 110 to 113 average weights. But this particular week here in October, it's kind of come down a little bit. So I've been averaging 108 to 111. So my weight's come down a little bit. And I think that honestly has a lot to do with me being more consistent and active, or consistent with my activity rather. So I'll get into that in a minute. I also wanted to share with you my body composition machine measurements as well as my inches lost measurements. I have a spreadsheet here that I've been keeping since January of 24. But I'll just start with January of this year when I started alternate day fasting, because I know that's what a lot of you guys are interested in. I didn't do the calculation, so I'm just going to tell you where I was and then where I ended up, because I didn't figure out the exact differences. But so in January 24th of this year was the first day that I sat down, wrote my commitment letter to myself, and proclaimed basically that I'm going to stick with alternate day fasting for a solid year and see what happens if I just don't give up on myself for once. So my weight went from 182 pounds, and again, I'm 5'4", so that was in the obese category. And as of September 23rd, which was my birthday, I was down to 109.6. And today was 108.8. So it's been in that range. But anyways, that was the last time I used my body composition machine. My BMI was 24.4 and now is down to 18.8. My body fat percentage went from 34.2 down to 14.6. So that was a big drop in body fat percentage. I have a different picture I'll show you in a minute because I went to my doctor's. I'll get into that. But I've lost like 50 actual pounds of pure fat, so I thought that was really cool. And this is my favorite, the muscle mass percentage. And this is why fasting, you guys, is where it's about. This is where it's all at. The muscle percentage went from 28.5 up to 37%. So almost 10% increase in my muscle mass percentage. You guys, that's because of the fasting. There's a lot of naysayers out there that are like, oh, you can lose all that weight and you're just starving yourself, or, oh, I'm doing the GLP-1s and I'm not eating at all and I've lost all this weight. No. The fasting, the up days, the feasting, the calorie boosted day, that's what increases your metabolism. That's what gets those muscles burning. That's what builds the muscle mass. So then when you do the down day or the 36-hour fast, that's when you're burning the fat. So I'm telling you, the proof is in the pudding of why fasting compared to anything else, and that's why it works, because you're not reducing your muscle mass. If anything, you're increasing it. I mean, obviously the actual pounds of muscle mass has come down because I've lost a significant amount of weight, and I'll show you that when I get to my doctor's visit segment. The percentage, hold on a second, I gotta let my dog inside. The percentage, I now have a higher muscle mass percentage than I do a body fat percentage. Before fasting, I had more fat than I had muscle, and now I have more muscle than I have fat. And that's exactly where any healthy person wants to be. You want to have more overall muscle than overall fat. And this is the first time in my life I've ever been in this healthy ratio, so I'm really excited about that. This is another cool thing that my scale measures is your metabolic age. I started at, my highest metabolic age was 51. So basically I had the metabolism of a 51-year-old woman. Again, I'm only 37. So I had a much older metabolism, and now I have the metabolism of an 18-year-old. I think that's pretty neat. And then what I feel is another, like, almost just as important as the muscle mass body fat ratio, something else that's super duper important is my visceral fat. And for those of you that don't know, visceral fat is the most harmful form of fat that we have on our bodies. It's the kind that you can't squish. It's surrounding your organs. It's inside the abdominal wall. And that is a direct component to things like metabolic disease and heart disease, fatty liver. All of those really terrible things is a direct result of how much visceral fat you have. This is on a scale of, I believe, 1 to like maybe 20. It's not I can't remember. I need to look that up. But ideally you want to be less than 5. So I started with a visceral fat number of 7, and now I'm down to 2. And again, I just feel amazing. And just going on with the measurements here, I use a tape measure and I track my inches. I try to do like once a month or so. But basically I started with my neck, was 14 inches. Now it's 12. My chest was 41 inches and now it's 35. My waist was 33 inches and now it's 25. My hips was 41 and now it's 32.5. And my thigh used to be 23 and a half and now it's 12.75. And I just wanted to pause here for a second, because when I realized that my thigh before measurement, the 23.5 inches, that's only, and like now my waist is 25. Like my waist right now is almost the size that my thigh used to be. And I'm like mind blown, totally. My calf went from 15 to 12.75. And just to put that into perspective, I used to, in the fall time, the tall boots that everybody wears for fall, I would have to buy the wide leg boots, the tall boots, the wide, and some of the pairs I had didn't even zip. And now I'm into regular size tall boots and I have room. So a couple inches there made a difference. And my bicep went from 12.25 down to 9. And to put that into perspective, when I go to the doctors now, they have to use a smaller size blood pressure cuff on me because my arm doesn't fit in the standard size. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just some more updates. My activity, I know I mentioned before that I kind of started doing these 30-day challenges back in August where I only did 12 out of the 30 days, but it was better than nothing. So for September, here's a picture of my monthly graph that my monthly activity chart that I calculate. Everything in blue is walking. There's a chart up here. So I'm super OCD about color coding and all of that fun stuff. But in a nutshell, I was able to exercise 26 out of 30 days of doing at least 30 minutes of exercise. Again, it was primarily just walking. I started to add in some yoga and strength training. I joined my local gym. And this month for October, here's a picture of the October so far. You can see I missed that last Saturday there, but we were crazy. My daughter had a doubleheader softball game, and it was just a crazy busy day. But anyways, this month I started doing a push-up and sit-up challenge. So in addition to the 30 minutes of exercise a day, here's a picture of the push-up sit-up challenge. And with this, we're 1 month from today out from going on vacation to Punta Cana. We leave on October 9th, or we leave on, sorry, my animals in this house are just having issues. We're going on vacation in November, and so I thought, I'm trying to work on strength training. I want to build muscle mass. So I thought, what good habit can I do that's not overwhelming, but is something that I can incorporate every day, that's manageable, and by the end of it will be a habit. So I came up with the idea of taking 5 minutes out of my day and doing as many push-ups with good form. And again, I do them on my knees because I can't even do one regular one. That's a goal. So I did as many push-ups as I can do, and then turn around and do as many sit-ups as I can do and use that as a baseline. And then basically every day I want to try to either improve or meet myself where I'm at. So I started this on October 8th, and the first day I did 20 push-ups on my knees with good form, and I did 10 sit-ups. And then yesterday was the 9th. I did 21 push-ups and 12 sit-ups. And today I'm hoping to either match that or improve. I have my husband on board doing it with me. So we're kind of doing, here's like a side-by-side of our numbers. So stay tuned for that, because I'm hoping that by the time we go to vacation, I can have a little more definition in my abs. As far as a habit tracker, this is something else I like to keep track of. You can tell I'm obsessed with calendars and highlighters and fun colored pens. But one of my habits that I'm working on, and this has been one that I've always worked on, is reducing alcohol. I've never been like a major drinker, but I definitely was a kind of a daily drinker. I would have, one or two cocktails while I'm cooking dinner, a glass of wine or a beer or something with my husband when he gets home from work. And that was most nights out of the week, to be totally honest. And I never really thought it was a problem. But I'm like, I need to be more intentional about getting rid of it. And when I was actively in the fat loss phase, like pretty much from January until July, I eliminated it successfully, except for like 1 or 2 drinks a month. So I'm trying to get back into that habit. So here's a picture of my no alcohol habit tracker. So you can tell I've had a couple drinks, 4 days so far, but I've had 5 days where I haven't had any drinks. So I'm hoping to finish the rest of the month strong. I will update you that either in a few weeks or next month. And then the other habit that I'm trying to work on is taking vitamins. This is something I've never done. I've been horrible about taking supplements, and I mean, even a multivitamin. It's just like the habit. And I'm like, why can't I stick with a habit? So I made another monthly habit tracker. Here's a picture of that. So I went to the doctor's on Friday the 3rd of this month, and he pretty much told me that I need to, and he's been telling me, I need to take things like fish oil and CoQ10. So I bought those, and I'm taking vitamin D and vitamin E. I threw a biotin supplement in there because my hair is not the healthiest, as well as a multivitamin. So I'm trying to take my vitamins every night. I've been doing that successfully except for one day. And I know we're getting short on time here, so I don't blame you if you want to jump off early, but I just wanted to give everyone an update about my doctor visit, because even my husband was like, Maria, like, I think you've lost maybe too much weight, and red flags are going up with people that I care about. And it's like, I feel amazing. Like, I feel so freaking good but I started questioning myself. Like, have I lost too much weight? Is 108 too thin? I mean, technically 107.5 is the cutoff to being underweight according to the traditional BMI. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to my doctor. I want to see what he has to say. I'm going to have him run his test, and just see where I'm at. See what, because I'm not trying to do anything stupid. I don't have an eating disorder by any means. I'm just trying to be the healthiest version of myself. I want to have the highest level of health that I can get. My goals are more towards longevity, and but at the same time, I'm still super new to this maintenance. So I'm like, I don't know, is this too low? So here's another evidence that the proof is in the pudding that fasting is amazing. My doctor honestly told me, and his words were, that I'm an inspiration, and he's 100% on board with fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting with time-restricted eating or the alternate day fasting that I've been a huge fan of this year, the 36-hour fast with a 12-hour eating window, a down day followed by an up day, fast and then feast. So I wanted to show you, my doctor does this thing called a phase angle test that basically is the same type of test that I just showed you with my body composition machine, but they actually hook up electrodes to you and then test your body fat, your muscle, your bone, your water, all that stuff, as well as give you a phase angle, which is like your body's GPA of overall health. Which I'm going to show you that first, because my phase angle, my GPA of my health has honestly gone down the last 2 times. So he basically said I'm deficient in some type of nutrient and he's not sure what. So that's where the vitamins came into play. He thinks that like normally when this phase angle goes down like that, it's usually a fish oil type of deficiency. But again, I've never taken a multivitamin, so I put one of those in there, and I go back to him for a full physical on November 18th. So basically I'm giving myself 6 weeks of committing to taking my vitamins and supplements, working out, doing the strength training, getting good sleep, and then I'm going to go back and do this whole test all over again. But just to beat a dead horse, I was really proud of these results. This is from the doctor. So I'm going to just really quickly run through with you these highlighted numbers. So my weight back on, and this is over 2 years. I started fasting in general, clean fasting on September 5th of 2023. So just over 2 years ago. My weight was 184, and as of October 3rd, with my clothes on and at the doctor's office, I was 113. My BMI went from 32.6 to 20. My body fat went from, this is pounds. This is where I was telling you that I lost 50 pounds of fat. I went from 76.2 pounds of fat on my body to 24.5 pounds. And that translates from a 41.4 percentage of body fat down to 21.7. My bone percentage has gone from 2.9 to 4.5. So that's improving. My skeletal muscle mass, the actual pounds of muscle that I had when I was 184 pounds, I had 52.5 pounds of muscle, and now I have 36.6. So yeah, my total body muscle mass did come down, but the doctor said, if you're going to lose 75 pounds, some of it has to be muscle. It's not a huge deal. But what he pointed out was that I went from having a 28.5% muscle mass that's increased to now it's 32.4. He's like, Maria, you have more muscle mass on your body right now than you do fat. That's what we care about. You want to have more muscle than fat, not fat than muscle. And my hydration also went from 44.1% up to 59.2. So I thought that was super cool. My muscles are more efficient at holding water. But yeah, so when in doubt, ask the doctor. And that's why I decided I'm just going to go see my doctor, see what he says, make sure I'm on the right page, make sure I'm doing everything right. And he's thrilled. He's absolutely thrilled. He did say when I left the room, he's like, don't scare me. Don't lose any more weight. You're perfect where you are. If anything, gain some lean muscle. We'll check you back in 6 weeks. So he's like, add some vitamins in there, do the strength training, focus on protein, and we'll give a recheck in another 6 weeks. Don't lose anything else, but keep doing what you're doing and focus on building that lean muscle, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So that's my update. I know it was a lot to unpack this time, so maybe I'll go back to doing the 2 weeks or whatnot, but I just wanted to let you know I'm still here. I'm still in maintenance. Life's cooking along. Life is lifing. I've had so much going on between the foster cats and the kids and their sports and my husband's business and me launching my coaching again and just trying to do the best that I can. And honestly, I'm in an amazing place. So if you stuck around to watch this whole video, thank you. I really hope that the overlays with the pictures with my graphs and my charts showed up. If not, I'll figure it out next time. I'll have to ask my 10-year-old for assistance. But anyways, yeah, it's Friday. It's very cold in central New York here. I think it's like 45 degrees out, but we're going up to 60. It's sunny out. I'm going to go for a walk next. I'm going to push little teddy bear in his little teddy stroller. I have a pet stroller for my kitten, and it is the most adorable thing. Life is great. And like I said, if you watch this whole video, again, I appreciate your support. Your comments mean a lot to me. Literally the next video that I'm hopefully going to record today, I didn't want to make like an hour-long video. So I know I've been promising a question and answer video that's coming up next. Again, hopefully I can post it in the same day. Thank you for sticking around. If you think of it, subscribe to my channel. I so appreciate that. Share it with friends. Again, this is just my journey, sharing it with the world. And for the first time, I feel like I've kind of figured it out. It's taken me 3 decades, but I'm in a really great place right now. And my hope and intention is to inspire and to motivate and to help educate or teach you guys. So keep those questions coming, drop them in the comments. Again, I'm in Colleen's alternate day Faster Unite Facebook group. So throw questions to me there. I'm in Graham Curry's The Fasting Highway Facebook group. I know a lot of you are from there. I'm in Jen Stevens' community. That's separate. But reach out, if I can hopefully change or inspire one person, then that's worth it for me making these videos. And I just want to pay it forward. My intentions are pure, and I wish everybody the best. So, all right, enough rambling, but you guys have an amazing weekend, and I'll touch base with you guys soon. All right, bye.